Assalamu alaikum. So we are going to continue with the topic of travel time studies. So yesterday we talked about what are the applications of travel time studies, why do we do it, and then we looked at some techniques, and then I showed you this sheet which is used for collecting the travel time data. Now let us do some calculations today. So we have an arterial on which the true mean running time is given 96 seconds. The length of the artery is 3 miles. Standard deviation of the running time is 15 seconds. So they did some observations and they calculated the mean and the standard deviation themselves, and then they gave us the values. Okay. Now let us assume they are saying that given the normal distribution of running time, so they are saying that running times like spot speed also follows normal distribution. Okay, so this is what they are telling us, and we have to believe them, right? So the standard deviation is 15 seconds, and how much will be the average and the 95% confidence interval of speeds? Okay, so now what is happening here? They gave me the length, they gave me the running time, and they are asking me to calculate the speed, right? It's simple. So if you use the mean time to calculate the speed, it will give you mean speed. Okay, and I will just show you how to calculate the confidence interval. Before that, now you see here they have used the word running speed, running time. Okay, now running time means what? Running time is travel time minus delay. So running time does not include any delay. Okay, so if I go back to this example, so the travel time is 12 minutes, delay is 88.6 seconds. So from 12 minutes, if you subtract 88.6 seconds, then you will get running time. Okay, so running time excludes any delay. Okay. Now they're asking me to calculate the confidence interval of speed. Now, for calculating confidence interval of speed, I need to calculate the confidence interval for running time. Okay, so everything will be calculated from the running time. Okay, so the average speed will be calculated from the average running time, and the confidence interval of speed will be calculated from the confidence interval of running time. Okay, now the equation for confidence interval, which we saw for spot speed case, is this one. So confidence interval at 95% equals mean plus minus 1.96 times E, where E was S upon square root of N. Okay, so this was the equation which we saw for the spot speed, and we are going to use the same equation because this equation is for normal distribution, and the question they are already saying is for normal distribution. Now in this equation I have mean, I need E. For calculating E, I need the standard deviation, which they have given me 15 seconds. I need N as well. Number of samples are not given. Okay, then what should I do? How do I calculate E? As I go back to the question, you see they are using the word true mean running speed. Whenever we use the word true, it means this is for the whole population. True is for the whole population. True mean running speed, true mean running time, true mean mean speed, true mean travel time. Anything in which with which you use the word true means it is for the whole population. Okay. Now I can assume that if the mean is given for the whole population, then standard deviation is also given for the whole population, right? If one, obviously, this is the question. If you give me some data, then I will assume that the whole data is in the same on the same scale. Okay, so if one thing is for the population, then the other thing is also for the population. So now, if you remember, obviously you don't remember, how did I define E? E is a standard error or the standard deviation for the whole population. Okay, so if this 15 seconds is for the whole population, that means it is E. 15 seconds is E. Okay, how I am getting to this conclusion? I am saying since the mean is given for the whole population, which is indicated by the word true, that means the standard deviation is also for the whole population, and that is E. Okay, standard deviation, the true standard deviation, if you say it in that terms, then true standard deviation is E. Okay, so E is given basically 15 seconds. I will assume right now. So E is 15 seconds, the confidence interval is mean plus minus 1.96 E. So mean is 196, E is 15 seconds, you add and subtract them, you get 166.6 and 225.4 seconds. So this is the confidence interval of running time. Now you will use these times to calculate the confidence interval of speed. So to calculate the average speed, take the length of the section, which is 3 miles given here, upon 196, which is the true mean running time. Okay, and then you multiply with 3600 to do what? To convert the seconds into hours, right? The speed will be in miles per hour, not miles per second. So you convert into miles per hour by multiplying it by 3600. So you get the speed 55.1 miles per hour. Now, which type of speed is it? Is it space mean speed or time mean speed? Okay, some of you asked me as questions that what type of mean speed we are calculating for spot speed. That was time mean speed. This one is space mean speed. So whenever you are using a travel time data, to calculate mean or average speed, that will be called as space mean speed. Use of travel time data to calculate the speed will give you space mean speed. Okay, so this one is space mean speed. Then to calculate the confidence interval of speed, I will divide the length with the confidence interval of running time. Okay, so to get the minimum speed, you divide by the higher value. To get the maximum speed, you divide by the lower value, and then again you multiply with 3600. So you have the interval here. Okay, so the confidence interval of our speed is 47.9 and 64.8 miles per hour. Okay, so this is how you can use the travel time or the running time data to calculate the mean and the confidence interval of speed. Okay. Now this is another representation of the same data. Okay, now what type of a graph is it? It is a frequency distribution graph. Like we made a frequency distribution table for spot speed. We have a frequency distribution graph here. Okay, so values on the x-axis are the average or the middle running time, the middle travel time, sorry, not the running time, travel time. So this one includes delay as well. These times include delay as well. So travel time includes delay, running time does not include delay. Okay, so these are the values of the travel time, and on the y-axis you have the number of observations for each value. Okay, so how many observations we have for 150 seconds? 1. How many observations we have for 160 seconds? 1. How many for 170? 0. How many for 190? 2. How many for 200? 5. Okay. So now we have to calculate the mean and standard deviation of the travel time using this data. Okay, although it is not given in the, it's not asked in the question, but they are using it in the next slide. So I will tell you how to calculate the mean and the standard deviation using this graph. Okay, so first of all, from this graph, since we are more familiar with the tabular format, so first of all we will convert or we will write down the values in the form of a table, so the calculations are easier for us. Okay, and for your benefit, I already performed this calculation in the previous section, so we have this. So we have the travel time, which is the value from the x-axis, and then we have the n, which is the value from the y-axis. Okay, so 150 has 1, 160 has 1, 170 has 0, and 180 has 1. Okay, then for calculating mean and standard deviation, we are going to use these two equations, right? The equations which we use for frequency distribution. So these are two equations. Okay, now for mean, we are doing n into s upon capital N, and for standard deviation, we need to do n into s square. Now, what was s? S was the middle speed. In this case, I don't have s. I have what? Travel time. So instead of s, I will use t. T representing travel time. So instead of calculating n into s and n into s square, I will calculate n into t and n into t square. Okay, you can see it here. Okay, so n into t means 150 into 1, 160 into 1, 170 into 0, 180 into 1, 190 into 2, and so on. Okay, and n into t square will be 150 square into 1, 160 square into 1, 170 square into 0, 180 square into 1, 190 square into 2, and so on. So I have prepared these two tables. Okay, now to calculate the mean, you need summation of n into t upon capital N. Capital N was the total number of values. So how many values I have? You take the summation of this column, right? So take the summation of the n column, you get 20. Okay, and if I go back to the graph, 20 is written at the bottom as well. See? Okay, so you sum up the number of observations for each line, you will get the total number of values, which will be n. Okay, so then obviously you need the summation of n into t and n into s square t square as well. So I have done the summation for each column. Okay, summation of values 20, summation of n into t 4370, summation of n into t square 982700. Okay, now to calculate the mean, I will do this. Okay, so mean equals summation of n into t, which is 4370 divided by capital N, which is 20. Okay, you get the mean. Okay, and for standard deviation, I will do this. S equals square root of, let's put a bigger bracket here. Okay, so it was n into s square summation, n into t square summation in this case, so 982700, 982700 minus capital N into the square of mean. So mean is, if you calculate the mean from the above equation, you will get 218.5. Okay, so a square of this, okay, divide by capital N minus 1. So 20 minus 1 will give you 90, and then you do the square. Okay, now can anybody give me the standard deviation here? How much is the standard deviation? Yeah, the standard deviation, how much is it? 38.3 seconds. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the mean and standard deviation using the frequency distribution bar chart. Okay, now moving on, using this, they are saying now calculate the so we calculate these two things, right? Now using these values, we can calculate the mean speed and the confidence interval of speed, like we did for the previous case. Okay, so 218.5 is the mean, plus minus 1.96 e. In this case, the standard deviation you calculated is not for the whole population, right? Because you calculated for how many values? 20 values. 20 values cannot be the whole population, right? So I already have n here, so I will not assume that s is e, no? Like we did in the previous example, it was given for true with true mean, so I assume that it is for the whole population. In this case, I know it is for 20 values. Okay, so I need to calculate e, which will be s upon root of n. So s is 38.3 standard deviation, root of n is root of 20. Okay, so you calculate this, the confidence interval, it will be this one, 201.71 and 235.29. Okay, now if you want the average speed and the confidence interval of speed using these values, okay, you do the same thing which we did earlier. This is also a 3-mile section. Okay, it is again written in the with the graph in the previous slide. Okay, so if you divide it with the average travel time, you get average speed, and if you divide it with the confidence interval values, you will get the confidence interval of speed. And each time you have to multiply by 3600 to convert it to hours. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Yeah? Then we have another example, which is for calculation of delay. Now the graph which I showed you yesterday, in that graph, one of the observers was taking the delay. The delay values were given for each section. The graph, the table which I showed you yesterday at the end. There is another possibility to calculate delay, which is using the concept of probability, or the concept of the chance of you having a delay. Okay, so for example, the highway for which the running times were given in the first case, for the first case. So for that highway, let us assume that on that highway there are 2 signals. Okay, and somebody has calculated the percentage of vehicles which have to stop on 1 signal or 2 signals or none of the signals. Okay, so that becomes the chance of any vehicle to stop on the signals to have the delay. So for example, there were 56.9% vehicles which did not stop at all. So it was a very well coordinated signal having having a very small delay. So almost 57% of the vehicles passed from both the signals without any stoppage. So for them the delay is 0. They did not stop at any signal. Okay. Then 30%, 30% of the vehicles stopped at, and the average delay for one signal is 40 seconds. Okay, obviously these values are calculated from the feed. All this whole table is coming from the feed. Okay. And then the possibility to stop at both the signals is 13%, almost 13%, 1-3. Okay, and if you stop at both the signals and one signal causes 40 seconds of delay, so two signals will cause 80 seconds of delay. Okay, so if you are having a bad day, if you did not pray well, if you did not you do something good, then you will be in this category, right? If you are having a good day, you did lots of charity and so on, you will be in that category, right? Just joking. Okay, so but this is how life works. Okay, you give something, you gain something. Okay, anyways, so 57% are the chances of having 0 seconds of delay, 30% are chances of having 40 seconds of delay, and 13% are chances of having 80 seconds of delay. Now if I want to calculate the total delay on this highway, then I will multiply the value of the delay with its possibility. So what is the possibility of 0 second delay? 57% or 56.9%, meaning 0.569. What is the possibility of 40 seconds delay? 0.3. And what is the, or 30%? And what is the possibility of 80 seconds of delay? 13.1% or 0.131. So you multiply each value with this possibility, you get the total delay. Okay, the total delay on this highway is 22.5 seconds. Okay, now if you assume that this value is for the same example for which the running time was given. Okay, so this 22.5 seconds of delay is for the same highway for which the running time was given. So if I want to calculate travel time, then travel time will be equal to running time plus delay, average running time plus average delay. Okay, remember this is an average delay. So average running time plus average delay will give you. Okay, so if you have any of these two values, you can calculate the third one. So running time plus delay is travel time, or travel time minus delay is running time, and so on. Okay, if you have any two values, you can calculate the third one. Okay. Now let us look at the concept of sample size. Okay, they are saying a series of travel time runs are to be made. Now I told you yesterday, travel time run means travel time observation. So they want to make a series of travel observations on an arterial. We have to find out the number of runs required, meaning number of observations required. Sample size. Okay, we call it sample size. Remember, if you from the spot speed case, spot speed topic, sample size. Okay, so sample size is what? Number of observations. So number of runs means number of observations. So they want to find out how many observations should be taken to have a confidence level of 95% and to be accurate within plus minus 2, plus minus 5, and plus minus 10 minutes. Now what are these values? Given with plus minus sign. Again, remember I told you for spot speed case, if a value is given with plus minus sign, it is the tolerance level, the acceptable error, and the sample size equation we included it as E, small e. So there are 3 values given for small e. Okay, and then they are saying standard deviations of 5, 10, and 15 minutes. Okay, so they want me to calculate the number of runs required with combination of all these values. Okay, so you have to try each of the e values and each of the values from the standard deviation, 5, 10, and 15. Okay, now for 95% confidence interval, we already derived the equation for sample size for spot speed. We will use the same equation, which is this one. So n is what we are calculating, s is standard deviation, and e is the tolerance level, and 3.8 is the constant given for the 95% confidence interval. Okay, so for example, if I use a standard deviation of 5 and tolerance level of 2 minutes, then this equation will give me a value of 24. See, S is 5 and E is 2, and this equation will give me a value of 24. Similarly, putting these values, I have developed this matrix. Okay, so you have all the combinations with tolerance level 2, you have all the combinations with 5 and 10 and so on. Okay, so the equation is very simple. You are just inserting the values. What I want you to see here is a trend of values. Now, when you increase the tolerance level, meaning you are doing what? You are increasing your error, right? So when you are increasing the acceptable error, you are lowering the precision or accuracy of your survey. You are lowering the precision or accuracy of your observation. So if you need lower accuracy, then what happens? See the sample size, it is decreasing. So when the tolerance level increases, that means you are accepting more error. That means you don't need many values. Then you need less number of values. Okay. Okay. So in each case, the number of values from top to bottom is increasing, meaning you need less precision. Okay. Then you see when the standard deviation increases, values are also increasing, because standard deviation gives you what? Standard deviation gives you the dispersion or variation in your data. So if your data has more variation, then you need to get more values to cover the variation. For example, if somebody asks you to take the sample from one section of traffic engineering course, so one section has less variation, you will collect few values. But if I ask you to collect samples from both sections of traffic engineering course, then you need some values from both the sections, so you will take more values. If somebody asks you collect sample from all the students of civil engineering, then you need samples from each section of all the courses, then you will collect more values. So as you keep on increasing the variation in your data, the requirement to get the values will increase, because then you have to cover all the variation. Okay, if somebody asks you, okay, give me the sample of student from the traffic engineering course, and you collect the sample from one section, the other section is totally neglected. Okay, it is totally it will not show in the data. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, so when you increase the variation in your data, which is given by standard deviation, then you need to increase the number of values. Okay, in this table you see a series or summary of 5 runs. It's a summary of 5 runs. Okay, so all these values are an average of 5. The values which are given in that table, in this table, are averaged out over 5 runs. So the travel time data was collected 5 times, and each time they took the average for each of these values, and then they gave me the average directly, instead of giving me 5 different tables and then I have to do the average. They gave me the table which I required. Okay, the average. So these values are already average of 5 observations. Okay, so what are these values? We have a section of the highway which starts from point 1, ends at point 7, and between these between point 1 and 7 I have 5 additional points. So these are the intermediate points at which values are taken. Okay, then you have the cumulative length. So cumulative means it's always taken from point 1. So from point 1 to 2, length is 1 mile. From 1 to 3, it is 2.25. From 1 to 4, it is 3.5, and so on. So total length is 5 miles. Then the travel time is given in minutes and seconds. Okay, and again it is cumulative. So this one is from 1 to 2, 2 minutes 5 seconds. This one is from 1 to 3, 4 minutes 50 seconds. This one is from 1 to 4, 7 minutes 30 seconds. Okay, so the total travel time from 1 to 7 is 11 minutes 54 seconds. Okay, now the next 2 columns are for delay and stops, and they are for each section. If you remember, I told you yesterday as well that when you are the observer is having another stopwatch, and whenever the stops, he calculates or he observes the time of delay in the second stopwatch, and he notes down the reasons of stopping and so on. And even the table which I showed you at the end of last lecture, in that table the delay and number of stops were mentioned for each section. So each section means what? From the previous point, not from the first point, from the previous point, whichever is it. So this 10 seconds is the delay between point 1 and 2. This 30 seconds is the delay between what? 2 and 3, not from 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and 25 seconds the delay between 3 and 4. Okay, and similarly the number of stops are also respective to that. Okay, so one is the number of stops between 1 and 2. This one is from between 2 and 3. This one is between 3 and 4. This one is between 4 and 5, and so on. Okay. Now, first of all, you see the travel time is given cumulative. Okay, and it is in minutes and seconds. So first of all, what I will do is I will calculate the length travel time for each section. Okay, and also I will convert the travel time into seconds completely, not minutes and seconds, because then obviously you cannot add and subtract, right? You need to divide and multiply, and to calculate the speed and so many things. How do you do that if the travel time is in dual units? You need 1 unit, right? So this is the question. You have to calculate the travel time and delay for each section. You have to make a graph, and you have to calculate the average travel speed and running speed for each section. Okay, so let us see how we can do that. First of all, I have calculated the length for each section. How? You see this? Okay, now in the first column, I mentioned the section number. So these are now section number. I had 7 points. So 7 points means how many sections? 6 sections, right? 2 points, right? So I have 6 sections. Now section 1 between 1 and 2. So its length is 1 mile. So 1 mile. Okay. Section 2 between 2 and 3. So how do I get the length between 2 and 3? I have to subtract 2.25. I have to subtract 1 from 2.25, right? Because 1 is from 1 to 2 and 2.25 is from 1 to 3. Okay. So 2.25 minus 1 will give you 1.25. Okay. So this is or section 2. Okay. For section 3, which is between 3 and 4, I'll subtract 2.25 from 3.5. Okay, because 2.25 is up to 3 and 3.5 is up to 4 from 0.1, both of them. So you take the difference of them, you get the distance between 0.3 and 4. So it will come out to be 1.25 and so on. Okay, so each time for the length of each section, you will take the difference of the 2 cumulative values. Okay, the 2 consecutive cumulative values. For travel time, you do the same thing, but first of all, convert it to seconds. Okay. For example, you have 2 minutes 5 seconds. So 2 minutes 5 seconds means what? 2 minutes means 2 into 60. 2 into 60 seconds, right? 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 2 minutes means 2 into 60 plus 5 seconds. Okay. Similarly, 4 minute 50 seconds will be 4 minute into 60. 4 minute into 60 plus 50 seconds, and so on. Okay. Then for calculating the travel time of each section, again these are cumulative values. So I will take the difference. Okay, let me see if I have prepared this Excel sheet here. I have no, I haven't. Okay, so let me. So when you convert 2 minutes 5 seconds into seconds, you will get 125 seconds. When you convert 4 minutes and 50 seconds into seconds, you will get 290 seconds. Okay, so how much is the travel time for section 1? 125 seconds, no problem, because it is taken from point 1. Okay, so the travel time for section 1 is 125 seconds. What is the travel time for section 2? Okay, it will be 290 minus 125. Okay, what is 290? The cumulative time till 0.3. And what is 125? The cumulative time till 0.2. So you take the difference, you will get the travel time between 0.2 and 3, or for section 2. Okay, section 2 is between 0.2 and 3. Okay, so you calculate the travel time for each section. So for the next one, first of all, convert 7 minutes 30 seconds into correct 290, which is 4 minutes 50 seconds, from 7 minutes 30 seconds. So you will get the travel time for section 3 and so on. Okay. Then if you need running time is travel time minus delay. So you have calculated travel time for each section, and the delay for each section is already given. Okay. So for the first section, it is 125 minus 10. 10 is a delay. Okay, for the second section, it is 165 minus 30, so 135. Third section, 160 minus 25, so again 135 and so on. Okay, so running time will be travel time minus delay, what I explained you in the previous example as well. Then if you want to calculate travel speed is length upon length of the section, okay, length of the section upon travel time, and then you do the conversion for hours, right? This is in seconds. So for the first section, it is 1 mile length upon 125 seconds of travel time multiplied by 3600 to convert to miles per hour. Okay. Second section, the length is 1.25, the time is 165, and then you do the conversion into 3600. Okay, so you get, so these are the travel speeds. Then for running the speeds, the length will remain the same, but instead of taking the travel time, you take the running time. Okay, so 1 divided by 115, the running time. Okay, and then multiply 3600 for the conversion, and so on. Okay, so you have the running travel speed and the running speed for each section now. So you have travel time, running time, delay, and travel speed and running speed for each section. Okay, so this is the travel time and delay table, and these are the values. Okay, plotted, because it asked me to plot the values, and these are the values plotted for travel speed and running speed. Okay, obviously running speed is higher than travel speed because travel speed contains the delay as well, right? For calculating travel speed, I use travel time, which contains delay. So when you subtract delay, the travel time gets lower and the running speed becomes higher. Okay, now they are saying on this highway, on the same highway, they want to make another set of observations. Okay, and for that number of observations, they will hire test cars. Okay, and because of some restriction, each test car can make 5 runs. So each test car can be used for 5 observations. So how many vehicles they should hire for completing the required observations or required runs for this highway? Okay, they want to achieve a tolerance level of plus minus 3 miles per hour and 95% confidence interval. Okay, now first of all, why they are saying each vehicle make 5 runs, I can only assume, it's not given, I'm assuming that each vehicle may be hired for 1 hour or 2 hours, and in that much time you can only make 5 observations. This can be the reason, or they don't have enough money for the fuel, so they only have money in which you can do 5 observations. So because of any of these reasons, one vehicle will do 5 observations. So how many vehicles are required? So first of all, I should know how many runs I require total. Okay, one vehicle will make 5. So how many runs I required on this highway to achieve tolerance level of 3 and 95% confidence interval? So first of all, I need to calculate the sample size. I need to calculate the sample size, which is by using this equation. Again, this equation is for 95% confidence interval, so you see 3.84 here. And to use this equation, I need S and E. Now E is given, which is the tolerance level. S I need to calculate. S is what? Standard deviation. Okay. Now if you see, should I calculate standard deviation for travel time, running time, travel speed, or running speed? This is the question. Okay. Now you see tolerance level is given in miles per hour, not in seconds. Okay. So they want me to calculate the number of samples using the speed parameters. So I will use the travel speed and the running speed to calculate the sample size. So since I have 2 speeds, I will calculate sample size using, I will calculate 2 sample sizes, one by using travel speed, the other one by using running speed. Okay. So I need to calculate standard deviation for travel speed and running speed. Okay. Now the equations which we used in the previous case and in the spot speed chapter were for frequency distribution data. Now look at these 3 columns. The first 3 columns for travel speed, running speed, and section. Is it a frequency distribution? No. Frequency distribution, you know, you will have a value of the speed and then you will have the number of observations. And is it in this manner, in this format? No. Okay, so I cannot use those equations here. I will use simple equation for mean and standard deviation. Okay, so simple equation is mean is what, for mean is what? Summation of values upon total number of values, which is this one. See, summation of S, summation of all the speeds upon total number of speeds. Average, simple average. Okay, you have been using it from the childhood. Okay, and what is the equation for standard deviation? This one. Okay, this is for the data which is just a set of values, not a frequency distribution. Okay, so the previous equation which we had for standard deviation was for frequency distribution. This one is for a simple set of values. Okay. You are talking about this equation, Ali. This is what we drive for the spot speed data. Okay, if you want to know how did we get this equation, you go back to the spot speed sites, you will see the derivation there. Okay, but this is the equation for calculating number of observations required with 95% confidence interval. Okay, how did we get it? Go back to the slide for speed. Okay. Now, so first of all, for travel speed and running speed, I will calculate simple averages. So you see, average travel speed 24.2, average running speed 33.2 miles per hour. Okay, I'll calculate using this equation. Okay. Secondly, standard deviation. So I need the difference of each value from the mean, and then I need to do the square, and then I will take the summation. So for each value of travel speed and running speed, I will take the difference from the respective average. Okay, so this is the difference for the travel speed. So how did I get 21.16? This is the difference of, this is the square of the difference of 28.8 and 24.2. Don't take value from travel speed and take the difference from running speed. No, travel speed value difference from the average of the travel speed. Okay, and then you do the square. So take the difference of 28.8 and 24.2 and do the square, you will get 21.16. Okay, similarly you take the difference of 31.3 and 33.2 and you take the square, you will get 3.61. Okay, and so on. Okay, so for each value, take the difference from the average to the square, you get these values. Okay, and for the standard deviation, you need to do the summation of each column. So when you are calculating a standard deviation for travel speed, you do the summation of this column, okay, and put it over here. And when you need the standard deviation for running speed, you do the summation for this column, and then you put it over here. Okay, so you will have two standard deviations, one for travel speed, one for running speed, but in each case n will remain the same because we have the same number of values, right? How many values we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 values, n will be 6. Okay, both of them same. Okay, so capital N is same, this will be different. Okay, so the standard deviation for travel speed is 7.6 miles per hour. Standard deviation for running speed is 2.5 miles per hour. You put these two values in the equation here. E will remain 3 for both cases. Number of samples required for average travel speed or according to average travel speed is 25. Now you need 25 runs and one vehicle will make 5 runs. So how many vehicles you should hire? 5. 5 into 5 will give you 25, right? So one vehicle will do 5 observations and you need 25 observations, so you need 5 vehicles. If you calculate it using standard deviation of running speed, then the number of samples are coming to be 3. Okay, and since one vehicle can do up to 5 observations, so I will only hire one vehicle. If you are doing it on the basis of running speed, then you will only hire one vehicle. Now what my logic says, that if one vehicle can do 5 runs, then I will ask the driver to make 5 runs because I already hired that vehicle, right? So the extra time for which that vehicle is available will go to waste. Why waste that extra time? The vehicle is already hired and can make 2 extra observations. So make 2 extra observations. So in the second case, if you are going by this value, then total you will make 5 observations. Okay, you will make 5 observations, although the required one is only 3. Okay, so this is how you deal with this problem. Okay, one thing you can see here for the case of a standard deviation. Standard deviation for travel time is very high. Standard deviation for running time is comparatively low. Okay, so the standard deviation for running speed or running time is travel speed and travel time. Why? Because the main cause of variation in your travel, in your trip, is the delay. So running time and running speed are after subtracting the delay. So if delay is not present, the natural variation of the data becomes less. Okay, so the variation is less, the standard deviation is lower. Okay, so the variation is caused because of delay. So if I subtract the delay, the standard deviation will automatically become lower. So running time and running speeds will always have lower standard deviations than travel time and travel speeds. Okay. Now I will stop here. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Ali, I think I already answered you. You have to go back to the slides of spark speed for the derivation. But this is the equation we have for calculating sample size for 95% confidence. Any other questions? Okay. I'm going for the attendance. Dua Rabi. Amna Muhammad. Muhammad Usama. Amal Abdullah. Muhammad Noman. If you see your name, you can raise your hand, and if I mark your presence, you can leave. Okay. Ali is here. Okay. Hakima Ali. Zahra Sayyid Ali. Abdullah Jaliluddin. Abdul Rahman Ibrahim. Nujul Salah. Nadine Hussam is there. Okay, fine. Zahra Riyad.
Yes, doctor.
Abu Bakr Ghani. Zainab Ali Ahmad. Mariam Abdul Amir. Okay, Abu Bakr is here. Mariam Abdul Amir, Majd Bashar, Asil Hassan. Okay, Asil is here. Ali Mustafa. Laila Ahmad. Ahmad Khalid. Abdullah Husamuddin. Latifa Ahmad. Zainab Abdali. Zainab Abdul Al. Ala Salman. Isra is here. Okay, fine. Fatma. Okay, fine. Who else is here? Isra and Fatma. Zainab Abdullah. Okay. Ali Abdul Razak. Elizabeth Ann. Ali Makki. Ibrahim Qadir. Did I leave anyone in this section? Everybody done from this section? Okay, so I'm going to
Doctor.
section. Yeah.
I'm from section 1.
Yeah, I'm going there. Ali Mustafa. I think I didn't mark you. Huh? Okay, so everybody going. Okay, who is from section 1? Dana.